There's no doubt about it. I am hated and I am loved. Why? Because I am dogmatic. I have this unforgivable feeling inside me that when it comes to bodybuilding, I know what I'm talking about. If it ruffles feathers, so be it. I can neither compromise to save feelings nor stretch the truth to flatter and please. I am my own man, egocentric, controversial, and proud. I have been called irrational, rude, and even contradictory. Judge for yourself after reading this book. My attitudes about training and nutrition come straight from the shoulder, and occasionally it gets me into steamy situations, usually only when I come nose to nose with someone with an ego as developed as my own. But for those who are willing to listen, a different story unfolds. As long as my advice is followed faithfully, I will work my butt off to help that person. If my advice is sought and then rejected, I cannot help but lose interest. That's putting it mildly. It irks my ego and the individual risks getting booted out of my gym. Why my gym is the best. Geronda is blowing his horn. Well, you knew it had to come. I'll tell you sincerely why I feel my gym is still ahead of most others. Did you know that when I started bodybuilding, there were only 2 hardcore bodybuilding gyms in the whole of the United States? There was Sig Klein's in New York and Jack LaLanne's in San Francisco. That was it. The rest of the world had even less. Today, there are all types of training institutions, the spas and aerobics establishments, the Nautilus centers, sports training camps, businessmen's clubs, and quite a large number of hardcore bodybuilding gyms, too. However, many of these training centers have an overabundance of next to useless machines that look 1,000 times better than they work. The deluded gym owners figure that potential customers will buy memberships if they are given a room full of individualized machines on which to train. The bigger the machine, the better the appeal. Some are just about the size of a Sherman tank. I figure you would get more out of trying to lift the machine than work on it according to the designer's directions. What you don't get at any of these warehouse establishments is the one thing you need more than anything else: personalized, competent instruction. That's where gyms like mine have the advantage. I would never install a piece of apparatus that I didn't think would help a person build a great physique. That is why we only have barbells, dumbbells, pulleys, and a variety of angled and shaped benches to enable members to work their muscles from different angles. Except for the press machine, chin and dip bars and leg apparatus. That's it. You may say, Geronda doesn't have these large chrome machines because he doesn't want to spend the big bucks on them. Well, you'd be mistaken. You see, because of the fact that Vince's gym is one of the most famous in the world, I am frequently asked if I would accept these monstrosities free, and give the manufacturers a lot of free advertising. It's my honest opinion that hardly any advances have been made in bodybuilding machines during the last quarter of a century. When the Diana Ball era began, with the introduction of the so-called growth-enhancing drugs, anabolic steroids, muscle-building knowledge and advancement came to a standstill. I will express my complete condemnation of the use of steroids in a later chapter. Maybe one day we will have machines that will be superior to free weight training. When it comes, I'll be there clapping my hands with joy and cheering. Believe me, it hasn't happened yet, and I don't think it will. Most people I know who have trained on machines have no knowledge of what it means to exercise. They don't understand the functions of muscles, nor do they know how they work. They have no mind-to-muscle communication. Why? Because with machines there is no curiosity aroused. Movement can only be done one way. This experience is not creative, hence boredom sets in for the mind and muscles. Creativity and physical self-expression can only be realized when a workout is comprised mainly with free weights. Dumbbells and barbells are the bodybuilder's hammer and chisel, and in the hands of a progressive thinker, they can produce a masterpiece. There's something else I will not have in my gym: music. I have given it a lot of thought and even tried it out with an open mind. Music is only useful to hype and control the tempo and cadence of aerobic-type exercises, which are done at a lively dance pace. In addition, everyone's taste in music is different. What one person might enjoy listening to, another would find distracting and irritating. Actually, I am constantly dismayed when people approach me in the gym and ask why I don't play music. These people appear to have no concept of the mental state that must be achieved to succeed in bodybuilding. You cannot sculpt and reshape your body to the sounds of the latest rock band. Don't these music-minded people realize that the accomplishment of physical perfection requires vivid imagination, enormous desire, total faith, visualization, and unending mental commitment? How can any of this be put into practice to the strains of distracting music? There are many hours between workouts to listen to music. Leave it out of the gym. Unlike many in the bodybuilding business, I actually train in my own establishment. I have done so for over 10 years. And because I train every day, I will not have a bad atmosphere, and I will not include any apparatus that is junk. I often refer to Vince's gym as the last bastion of bodybuilding reality where genuine instruction can be had on an ongoing basis. Writer Bob Greene once noted in an article about me, "Vince never tries to make a racehorse out of a cart horse, nor does he try to do the opposite." True. I realized early on that each physique must be built according to the master blueprint already drawn up by nature. You cannot build a huge, defined arm on a marathon runner's bone structure. Neither can you give a wide-hipped, narrow-shouldered physique the ranginess of a Steve Reeves.